Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I am Jessica Delmar. This is the Oneness Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking more about Stargates. This is part 3 to the Stargates series. If you haven't yet listened to part 1 and part 2, be sure to listen to those episodes first before listening to this one. So, in part 1, I spoke about how I sat down to inquire more about the wars happening on this planet at this time and the great division that's going on. And what came through kind of led me into this doorway that went beyond the wars, because everything is connected, and what we're seeing is just simply a surface level manifestation of energy that's happening on much deeper levels. And so, like always, the information that I tune into and tap into always has to do with energy beneath the surface for us to greater understand what's happening on top of the surface. So what came through is that what a lot of things have in common at this time are this Stargate energy and these open Stargates. And that's kind of what we're seeing unveiling in the world around us. The wars, artificial intelligence, and alien or UFO disclosure are all kind of connected to these Stargates. And so this Stargate series talks a little bit more about what's going on. And I know that it can go even deeper, but I wanted to keep this on a level where we can really kind of understand in more simple terms. In the last episode, part 2, we spoke about the Stargates and how they're connected to artificial intelligence. We spoke about what Stargates are. And like I always say, the information that I bring through is purely energetic. It's energetic information. And there's a lot of different facets to the greater whole. There's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, right? So many different perspectives, so many different layers also as well. So allow for it to be one aspect of many different aspects that you're receiving to make up your perspective of the greater whole. Stargates are portals that have opened in different locations around the Earth. The purpose is to help tether a higher frequency to the Earth plane and reel it into a higher frequency space. The reason is because Earth is what came through as compound matter, made up of different energetic frequencies. So currently, we're in an Earth compound matter space of 3D to 5D. And it's moving into a compound matter space more in tune with 5D to 7D. And so the Stargates are helping the planet to move into this new space. And so the Earth must shed what frequencies are no longer serving it while maintaining the frequencies that are either evolving it or are holding a higher frequency space for Earth to move into. Again, listen to part 1 and part 2. I speak a little bit more in terms of what these Stargates are and what's happening. So this is similar to what came through as an imbalanced gut with both good and bad bacteria, right? Bacteria is necessary for a healthy gut. So you can't just wipe everything out, which is, by the way, what antibiotics often do. But what happens is when you wipe all of that bacteria out, it ends up causing more issues in the gut anyways. So our guts need a healthy amount of bacteria and the right types of bacteria to function well and to have greater immunity. So how do you shed the bad bacteria when you have something going on, or prevent the bad bacteria from spreading while keeping the good gut bacteria or helping the good gut bacteria to grow and flourish, right? The answer for the Earth is the Stargates. The Stargates are energetic portals that help the Earth turn over. They help maintain some sort of energetic balance while the Earth itself purges. This is similar to maintaining, for example, maybe a healthy immune system while going through any sort of treatment that may disrupt your bodily system. Having a healthy immune system to start holds space for you to bounce back more quickly and steadily, if you will, when you do get sick. Or, for example, it's similar to having like a healthy stress response or a healthy nervous system, a balanced nervous system, where you can maintain a sense of ease and balance despite being in a stressful condition or situation. So it's kind of similar to that. And the stargates are holding that space for the earth to do what it needs to do while staying connected to higher frequencies. These stargates energetically maintain the earth while the earth changes. They are connected to other star systems and feed the earth in abundance of energy while it goes through massive changes. It's similar to someone having the flu and receiving, for example, maybe vitamin IV or other nutrients and nourishments to help recover and stay hydrated. Again, holding that space of a healthy immune system to begin with. We are going through what many call a global warming, which is similar to a flu, if you will. These stargates act as nutrient deposits and energetic nourishment to uphold the integrity and balance of the earth while it goes through the process of this flu. So you can only imagine what information and knowledge can be extracted from the energy held within these stargates. All of them active is something that brings forward so much universal knowledge from star systems all over the universe. Each of these stargates connect Earth to a different part of the cosmos, and it acts like a doorway in between. And so it's bringing through all the information that connects Earth to wherever the stargate is leading to in another dimension or star system. And these connections will propel the Earth into a dimensional experience that far exceeds what we see in our daily lives today. This is also why it may seem like we've taken leaps and bounds since the year 2020. It's also why it may feel like this year of 2023 feels almost like 5 years stacked within 1 year. Time is going by so quickly, but more so, we feel the passing of time, not like the year has gone by quickly, but more like the movement of time is passing through us so quickly. So in many ways, what this feels like is the world around you is going by slowly, but you feel internally like time is moving through you so quickly. I asked, what does this have to do with alien disclosure and UFOs? Is there some sort of government scheme that we should be aware of? What came through is there has been a scheme revolving around aliens and UFOs for a very long time, even before you were born. It is not new to those in power. What is being revealed to the public at this time is evidence that has already been known for quite some time. The purpose is to get people to unite in one way or another. But the discernment is this: where are you uniting? Are you uniting in the heart or the mind? Go back and listen to part 2, where I spoke more about the difference between uniting in the heart and uniting in the mind. So unification is a big theme, an overarching theme within the evolution of humanity at this time. It just depends what frequency of unification are you tuning into? Are you tuning into the frequency of unification of the mind or the frequency of unification of the heart? And they lead down 2 very different paths. So again, listen to part 2. When there is a fear surrounding aliens or UFOs, and I say aliens and UFOs just because those are mainstream terms to identify extraterrestrials or extra dimensionals, if you will. So just keep that in mind. But there's a difference. Aliens and UFOs feel very earthly to me. It feels, and we'll talk more about it, but it feels lower dimensional. Versus if I tap into the energy of aliens or UFOs in higher dimensional or higher frequency planes, it feels more like the term higher frequency beings is a little bit more relevant. So when there is a fear surrounding aliens or UFOs, there is a unification that occurs that births forth in the mind. But on the other hand, when there is understanding and curiosity, then the unification that births forth from that is in the heart. It occurs in the heart. The aliens, or what you perceive of as aliens in your human mind, are not what you think they are. What you must know is that they can never be understood, nor even perceived with the human mind logically. They can only be received through the heart. And this is what I'm talking about in regards to higher frequency beings. I'm not talking about lower frequency beings. Again, there are two distinct paths when it comes to what we would consider aliens or UFOs. So when there's fear surrounding it, it breaks off into a lower dimensional or energetic space. When there's understanding and curiosity surrounding it, it breaks off into a higher dimensional and higher frequency space. So what you connect to within those two different paths will be very, very different perceptions and even manifestations of what we would consider aliens, UFOs, extraterrestrials. So we'll talk about these two paths. Number one, if they are being perceived with the mind or logically, most likely through fear, then it's most likely crafted through those that are currently in power, for example, the government. However, your experiences with quote-unquote true aliens or extraterrestrial beings are not going to be through physical experiences, most likely. They are most likely going to be through spiritual and non-physical experiences because they reach into your heart to make a connection. They don't reach into your mind and your fear to make a connection. Anything that you perceive with your eyes are most likely glitches or feedback within the resonance of an old earth. Many has to do with beliefs of what UFOs or aliens are, usually revolving around fears that will eventually come to life the more that the minds unite as to what they think they are. So again, listen to part 2 in regards to the different outcomes between the unification of the mind and the unification of the heart. Remember, there is nothing beyond your imagination. Everything in your imagination is alive. You bring your imagination to life through the process of manifestation. Manifestation requires energy of feeling. And if you have enough feeling all going towards the same place, then the manifestation of it becomes stronger and stronger. These stargates are potent activators of material when thought and feeling meet in proximity to it. So many of your fears can step through these portals if enough energy is generated in proximity to it. But that's not why they're there. That is a way to hijack them. They are there for the purpose of higher frequency, and there are gatekeepers on the other side of these stargates. These gatekeepers are monitoring the energetic feedback, and although powers on this side of things may be playing with these stargates in these lower frequencies, higher frequencies will always be more capable of shifting energy. The center of the earth resonates in accordance with your heart center, and as the hearts unite in higher frequencies, then the core of the planet gets stronger and becomes the vibration of the earth. So even as lower frequency continues on, it must at some point dissolve as it no longer aligns. I asked, so who are the true aliens? And what came through is the aliens, quote unquote, are you and your families in much higher planes of existence. Again, this is the path towards curiosity in the higher frequency space versus fear in the lower frequency space. They reach you because they are in direct lineage to you and because they know you. They are you in a different time, a different space, a different place, a different form, a different body. Those are the ones who reach your heart. The extraterrestrials, UFOs, or aliens portrayed on the news, for example, coming from a logical place and more of a fear-based place, not the heart, are most likely figments of collective imagination, thought, and behavior. Many of them are displayed as a ways to harness more imagination, thought, behavior, and feeling towards those already confined figments of imagination for manifestation. This does not dismiss the fact that there are lower frequency beings, aliens, UFOs, extraterrestrials, etc. But the one thing that you must know is that if they don't come to you in your heart, then they are not here for you. Again, if they don't come to you in your heart, then they are not here for you. Meaning, for example, if you see something on the news, its primary purpose is to instill fear, most likely, so that you add to it energetically and filter your energy into the unification of the mind space. So you have to be very careful in terms of what path of unification you are following. Are you following the unification of the mind, where it ceases or contains individual thought? Or are you following the path of unification of the heart, where it grows what you already know, and it enhances your intuition, your sensitivity, and your inner self-knowledge? Do not allow yourself to become part of something that is not here for you, but rather seek your experiences in your heart so that you know your path more clearly, you can understand your purpose, and you can maintain your energy in the right direction. And that's what came through for part 3 of the Stargates series. Thank you so much for being here and for all of your support. This is a very surface level explanation of the information that I was receiving. It can definitely go a lot deeper, but I wanted to keep it in a place where we can all understand it. If you have any questions or want to dive deeper, feel free to email me. I'll post my email in the description of this episode. If you'd like to read the written transmission to any of these podcast episodes, sign up for my newsletter. I'll post the link to my newsletter in the description of this episode. You'll receive all the written transmissions straight to your inbox. Thank you again for being here. I'll see you in the next episode. Oneness, love, and peace be with you.